right. Thank you so much.
No problem. So when I started on LinkedIn last year, I had probably around 200 followers. I didn't even know where to start. I didn't know what I had to do. I was seeing people that had, 20 plus thousand, 10,000, over 5,000. And, I just started questioning, well, how are they getting this large following? How are they getting people engaged? They would post things and everybody would run to their posts and start communicating, engaging, asking questions. So I spent all of last year really diving into, how can I use social media for my benefit? Because at the time I was making the decision to leave the corporate world and was like, well, I have to be visible. I kept being told, you need to be visible. If you want to be seen and you want to be a viable candidate and really stand out, you need to be visible and you need to use social media. And that's what got me into really diving deep into social media. So today, I'm going to be talking about how social media is liquid gold, right? A lot of people sleep on social media. When I mean sleep on it is it's their last thought of, oh, listen, I can create a account, a TikTok account, or Instagram and Facebook, and really leverage it to not only attract users, but to also retain users and to get information out to users. So I'm going to talk about how the library can share the events that are going on in the library, can share pictures, can share and highlight library collections. You can also create webinars and cater your webinars to what's trending right now. Like, for example, the Great Resignation right now is hot news. How can you leverage that to get job seekers into the library to look at your collection on how to write a resume, how to be a candidate, how to interview. The other things is to use social media to also collaborate with other members in the community. Remember, what the key thing here is to pretty much do a shift in how people look at the library. The library is not just about books. That's the motto that I'm going with, and that's what I encourage you guys to use as well. So, and then the other last thing I'm going to talk about is how do you roll out? Do you just jump on and just start blasting every day? So I'm going to show you a cool trick of what you can do to just slowly start increasing your presence and social media to be effective. So some cool facts that I found that I've been studying for the past year is that social media is hot right now. I mean, there are like 4.6 billion people that are using social media. So if this is evidence right now of why libraries should be going on social media as well, because everybody is pretty much on social media right now. And one of the other things to take a look at is what is going to work, right? Not every social media platform is going to work realistically for the library. My teenage daughter always teases me that, Mom, we young people don't use Facebook, we're on TikTok or Snapchat. So that's pretty much one of the biggest things that you want to start taking a look at is, what social platform is going to work well for you in order to pretty much attract all different users from the younger crowd to the more mature crowd and just really pull everybody in. So definitely, hopefully, Linda, you'll be sharing this so that people can look at the stats. It's a good breakdown of the age group percentage of users 13 plus, male users versus female users, and the amount of time that are being spent. On an average, people are spending about 2 hours a day on social media. For me, that's actually very low. If I only spend 2 hours a day on social media, that would be a very low day for me. I feel like I'm on social media for over 2 hours a day. And that's what I see for most people who are really actively engaged. I can tell you that it's more than 2 hours a day. The other really cool facts about, social media, as you can see here, again, billion people are using social media around the world. So these stats don't just cover just the United States. This is around the world. So one of the things that you're gonna have to realize is that when you start really getting engaged in social media, your platform, although you want to attract the members in your community, but you also might probably start attracting other people and librarians probably around the world. I personally communicate to people who are all over. I'm talking to people from Africa to France to India to Japan, like all over the world. I've been able to collaborate and communicate with people all over. So just look at the reach is not just limited to just your local area. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're able to start engaging with other people in other areas and start seeing, well, how are they doing things for their libraries in those communities that are outside your area. That's great because you get great ideas that you might not even think about. I get a lot of great ideas when I'm on social media about what to post, but I kind of other people are doing. So social media, it is a great place to also for research purposes of how you can utilize other different techniques for attracting people into the library. So definitely you guys will get a copy of this so you can see the stats that are available. And then the other thing that I talked about earlier is the platforms. What platforms should you use? This is a great breakdown of the platforms that are top now. Facebook shouldn't be no surprise. YouTube is another platform that's huge. WhatsApp, it's more of a text app. But for me, for libraries, what I would recommend is definitely Facebook, which I know Rogers Library has a Facebook account, and I've seen them post pictures of some of the activities that they have done. I know I've brought my kids to some of those activities, whether it's a bingo night or any type of craft activity that is going on. We attended several of those in the summertime. So again, you'll be able to take a look more into the stats. We'll be able to provide this for you. TikTok is another big one as well. As I mentioned, I started recently diving into TikTok, and I'm definitely seeing a lot of potential of how I can continue to grow my brand and increase my followers as well. So how do we even start? Where do you even start to start creating your social media presence? Baby steps. You don't want to get overwhelmed. Social media can be very overwhelming. As I mentioned, there's over 4 billion people who are using social media. Sometimes it can get time consuming, depending on the type of content that you want to create. For me, because my audience is typically lawyers and people who are in the legal technology industry, I spend a lot of time doing research on what's going on in the legal technology sector, what's hot and what's trending. For the library, what you guys need to do is to take a look to see, do you have existing accounts? Do you have existing accounts for Facebook, maybe Twitter, possibly LinkedIn? One of the good things about some of these social media accounts is that you can be able to see your stats, your data. When you post something, are people responding? Are people liking those posts? Are people commenting and saying, oh my God, that looked like such a great activity. I wish I was there. What is the response? So even though you might not have a breakdown of data analytics, you can see whether people are engaging just based by seeing if anybody's even responding back to your post. If you're posting something and you're seeing that there's radio silence and no one is liking and no one is communicating, then definitely we got some work ahead. So this webinar today will help you figure out how to start getting people more engaged with your content and more interested in wanting to learn more about the library and come in and visit the library. So what are we going to do to get people more engaged? You definitely want to have engaging content. And one of the things I recommend is taking a look at what's hot and what's trending right now. As I mentioned earlier, we're seeing a lot of people talk about the Great Resignation. That's one thing that I see all the time when I go on Google. That's trending, that's hot. People are leaving their jobs, they're tired, they're exhausted, and they're looking for something better. The other thing that I see a lot that's trending right now is mental health. Because of COVID and the pandemic, there's been an increase of people who are really pushing for self-care, mental health awareness, because people are tired, right? We're remote most of the time. And if you are coming into work, you're exhausted from having to wear the mask and just following all these protocols that we didn't have to follow before. So, you take a look at what's hot and trending in the news right now. I stay away from anything political, anything that's divisive. Again, this is what we're trying to do, is bridge the gap between the library and the community and getting people to engage more. Fun topics, people like fun, people want something that is going to be uplifting. As I mentioned earlier, Rogers Memorial Library has been very successful with the events that they have done here, especially during the summertime. This felt like my safe haven for bringing my children in because of the various activities that were available. And what I really liked was the usage of newsletters and the online system that was available to sign up for these activities. And then because I'm a busy mother, having that reminder. So prior to the activity, I would get that reminder of, hey, by the way, you signed up for this activity. Just remember so you can show up. So if I had to cancel the activity, I would do it right there within that notification. People like that ease of having to reschedule and change things up and have that reminder. So you want to promote events that are going on within the library. Maybe perhaps you have a new book collection, and the book collection is on mental health awareness during the pandemic. How do you get people to come in and start seeing that book collection? Well, if they don't know about it, right, they're not going to come in. So that's where social media is going to be really critical, because you want to promote that. You want to talk about it. Maybe have monthly themes, right? Maybe a month where it's all about mental health awareness. And you arrange a collection of books that you can then recommend to people that have to do with mental health awareness. Hey, did you know that we have this collection of mental health awareness books? Come in and check it out. And if people don't want to come in, the other thing that you can do is something similar to what we're doing today, which is the virtual webinar. So you can definitely utilize the remote webinars to still communicate with the public. So sample topics, I started talking about them, but I know one thing that Linda and I talked about, and today, I'm actually at the library today, and I was really excited to hear kids. They were actually having their workshops, toddler workshops today, so I could hear kids crying and all the bustle and fun of having people actually within the library. So target that, right? There are a lot of mothers who are, and parents who are working remotely. So having webinars or having in-person events that cater towards, raising a toddler during the pandemic, or raising a toddler during this time where it seems like a lot of people are virtual and you don't really see a lot of activities going on for parents and children. So that's one sample topic that you can talk about, and you can create a selection of books that will help parents who feel like they might be alone right now, right? They might not be able to see their friends and family as much, or have those parent group meetings. You can create a whole topic that you can share on a post on your Facebook account to talk about mothers and parents and any caregivers. Are you feeling alone right now? Here's a selection of books that we have available that will help you. And again, you can now also create a webinar that has to do with highlighting your books that are available for any parents or caregivers that are remote, right? And you can also take the time to do your research. Google is my friend. You can Google to get stats on, how many caregivers and parents are currently remote. And you could just literally write one content just based on, did you know that there are now 60% off caregivers that are now remote and working from home and raising their children, right? Use those stats to engage with members of the community. Linda, I'm going to pause real quick because I see, I'm not sure if there's comments or questions that I should address at all.
Thanks, Flo. Actually, I don't have any questions right now. The only thing was somebody wanted to know if the slides would be available to the people who registered. So I told them that those slides would be available. You gave me a copy of
yes.
And somebody had mentioned that they couldn't hear you for a little while. So
all right, can you hear me now?
Yes, the signal is perfectly fine. If you start to flicker in and out, I may have you turn off your camera while you're sharing your screen, and that might just help us a little bit. But right now it's fine. Did you want to go ahead and do the poll right now, Flo?
Yeah, sure. One poll that we are going to do right now, so I can just get a good understanding of, do we have novices? Do we have experts here today on social media? So yes, please go ahead and share the poll, and I'll get back to that in a little bit. And can you guys see my screen, Linda? Can you see my screen fully, or do I need to?
I have you at about 85% of my screen. I have a little thing of the participants down the side, but I think
okay.
I have a good amount of. Wow, that is so quick. You guys are super fast responding.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how I can do it where it's the full screen. Okay, there we go.
All right. Okay. So I've got 26 out of 29 people have already responded. And so I am showing by a huge amount. We currently use social media, but wish it were more effective.
Got it. Okay.
Only 4% of only one library is not currently using social media. Thank you so much for letting us know. I don't know who it is, just incidentally, if you're the person and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
it's me. No, we don't know it's you. And
right, no, and we don't.
There's only 3 libraries who are currently using social media and are happy with how things are going. So I think the vast majority are, it has its moments. And I think one of the things you're going to talk about is how to start doing fun things. This is the point that Rogers Library is at. We have Flo giving us the encouragement that you have to get engaged by having fun, and then your people have fun with you. And then it's not just that you're posting your advertisements for your programs. But back over to you, Flo, because you're the expert.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, is the whole point of using social media is to be able to not only engage with your user remotely and virtually, but you also want to try to pull in traffic into the library if possible, right? Depending on what the COVID numbers are. But the good thing about what I'm going to be teaching you today is that you can use social media to promote virtual activities as well as in-house activities where people are actually coming in. The other topics that I'm seeing a lot of, I mentioned the toddler and doing virtual circle time, right? Most of today was a great time to walk into the library to actually see them having circle time in person. Because the numbers have decreased in our community. So, you can be able to do that. But where there are times where you cannot do circle time in person, then you want to encourage that virtual meetings. There's Zoom that's available. We're using the Zoom platform right now. You can still do activities where you are engaging with parents and their toddlers remotely. I mentioned this earlier before about how right now there's this huge great resignation where people are looking for alternative careers. I've seen a shift where there's a lot of lawyers who are leaving practice. They're either opening up their own practices or doing something completely different. So those are sample topics of how you can tap in and engage with members of your community. If you have resume writing books, or if you have any books that are geared towards to how you can pivot career-wise, then you can highlight those and showcase those on your Facebook platform. To say, hey, we have these cool materials that are available that will be able to teach you how to pivot. You don't want to be a lawyer anymore. Maybe, you want to go in this different direction, and we have just the right tools that can help you. Did you know that we can help you with that pivot? So then you're going to highlight and showcase that book collection that has to deal with that. Another thing that's huge right now is parent work-life balance. There are some people who are hurting. Listen, yesterday my toddler was home, and trying to work remotely with a toddler, it can be hectic. So sometimes having those groups that are available that are dealing with these challenges of being a parent and having to work and just trying to balance everything out, having those workshops and groups, so that, again, the whole theme is you are not alone, right? We're trying to make this picture of this library, again, as more than just books. How can you be pillars of the community and help the community getting through stuff and providing useful tools to members of the community that they probably didn't even know were available at the library? So parent work-life balance is another sample group that you can do. One that's really great, as I look right behind me, the high school is right behind us. How do you bring those high school kids, this generation? I have a teenager, and every day I learn something new from my teenager. But how do you connect with the teenagers besides, doing Snapchat with them, college prep? That's another useful tool that you can provide for a lot of the people who are getting ready to go to college and just starting to prepare is college prep. Highlight book collections that you might have that have to do with transitioning from being in high school to now slowly adapting into the college life. So whatever book collection that you can have, maybe perhaps you can do webinars of how to start preparing for college, writing college essays. That's a whole content field of posts that you can do that will be really engaging to that teenage group. Rogers Memorial Library did something really fun, and they did an anime club. A lot of the teenagers are into animation. Animation is huge right now. Rogers did a fantastic job in taking that pop culture and created an after-school anime club. That was really fun for the kids to do. My daughter wanted to do it. Unfortunately, this time around, she wasn't able to do it because she has several honors classes. And it's just the challenge of balancing was a little challenging for her. So, but that's just a good example right there of creating these after school clubs, whether it's college prep, whether it's animation club, or some type of a craft that's available for the high school crowd, even the middle school and elementary crowds as well. I know Rogers Memorial usually has several type of crafts and reading book groups that they get together. So don't be afraid to go down that path. The kids absolutely loved it. I actually have a teenager and a 9-year-old. And they both, even my toddler who's 3, all 3 of them enjoy coming to the library and picking out books. So find ways to tap into that crowd. Again, you have the animation, college prep, reading groups. Bingo has been quite successful here at Rogers Library, where they will do bingo and they get a chance to win candy.
Yes, it's amazing. If you offer candy, they will come. We do have a question on the chat right now from Kathleen Packard. What social media teenagers predominantly using right now, Flo?
Yeah, so the teenagers are on Snapchat a lot, and TikTok is the #1 favorite between TikTok and Snapchat. Those are pretty popular. The more, like, I would say, professional crowds, you're gonna see that on LinkedIn. And then Facebook is a mixture. Facebook is still a hit with a lot of organizations. I definitely recommend Facebook to the library, just because you can create community groups, right? In Rogers Library has their own Facebook account. It's a great way to connect with people that are right here within the community. LinkedIn is another great way to, I would say, for me, I use LinkedIn for my professional brand. That's where I built my non-boring lawyer brand on, is LinkedIn. So if I'm looking for the professional aspect on meeting with other professionals within my sector, I highly recommend LinkedIn as well. TikTok is a bunch of videos, right? TikTok is fun. And I'm seeing actually a lot of lawyers on TikTok. I'm seeing a lot of people using TikTok to build their brands. But here's how libraries can leverage a platform like TikTok. You're like, okay, are we supposed to make videos on TikTok? Yes, yes. You can get on TikTok and make videos. Highlight your collection. Maybe you got a new collection. You know, don't be afraid to go do a quick 7-second video about something wonderful. Maybe it's Valentine's Day and you guys created a whole selection of books that have to do with love. You know, so you can create a quick 7-second video. I say anything less than 15 seconds on TikTok is ideal, where you're promoting love stories, and it could be something entertaining. My TikToks are all about just fun, you know, because people want to laugh. Sometimes I'll have serious TikToks. You can switch between, right? I'm not saying it has to be 100%, you know, comedy. You can have some aspects where it's a little serious. You can have some aspects where it's fun. And then you can have aspects where it's educational, you know, where it's, hey, did you know? You know, maybe there's something going on in the library that you wanted to highlight. If I were to use Rogers Library, it's being able to go online and register for events and webinars and be able to sign up for newsletters and get notifications of what's going on, and just be aware of what's going on so you can be able to participate. Or I know Rogers Library, people can come in and they can use Wi-Fi. There's Amazon cameras, I believe, Linda. I mean, there's so many gadgets that I've seen that are available.
The Library of Things actually, it probably would be really fun to advertise that way. I do have another question here. How can libraries use Snapchat? How are you on Snapchat, Flo? And how would a library?
Yeah, so I don't use Snapchat personally myself. For me, what I find that has been working for me has been Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and TikTok. What I do see on Snapchat, if you were to use it, because all it is it's a similar platform to like a Facebook. It's pretty much, if you wanted to share events, if you're targeting specifically, you know, your elementary school or your high school crowd, you could use that to highlight maybe groups that you might be doing. Like, for example, Rogers Library did the animation club. You could use that to share that, hey, by the way, we actually have an animation club available. So anyone who's interested in the high school, you know, please join and sign up. Normally when I use Snapchat, I send my teenager to use it for me to announce that I released a video. So I'll normally use my teenager to help me with the Snapchat part. But what I would say is definitely utilize Facebook if you already have a Facebook account. What you don't want to do is have 10 different social media accounts. Don't advocate for that. What I advocate for is, you know, try to pick one that you start with. And if you decide to choose Facebook, then what it's going to be at that moment now, it's going to not only you create if you don't already have one, but I think based on the poll, most people are using social media, is to start letting people know that you actually have a Facebook that is existent, right? Having a social media account doesn't mean that everybody now knows you have it. You actually have to promote yourself on that account. So if you're using Facebook, how do you reach your audience? How do people know that you actually have a Facebook account and that members can go to that Facebook account to get information about what's going on? Well, the way you do it is you would need to start doing media blasts, right? You need to start even on, for example, on the Rogers Library website, they need to start blasting on there. Hey guys, by the way, you find us on Facebook as well. That's where you're going to find all the hot news about what's going on in the library. Create a link on the website that says, join us on LinkedIn, know what's going on. Even if you decide to create, let's say, a Twitter account or a LinkedIn account, you can also create links where people can go right directly to your Facebook page or your library page as well. But I recommend starting with one social media platform. Because remember, when I first started, I said, you want to take baby steps. You don't want to get overwhelmed trying to sign up for every social media and then trying to start media blasts so people know. It's going to be too much. I say select one and start with that one. And then from there you build. Like I started with TikTok just this January.
So Flo, I've got a message here that says our teenagers are not on Facebook. And I think that would be my experience too, with the high schoolers just across the way at Alburn High School, is that they're not on Facebook. Yeah. I think they're on TikTok predominantly.
They're on TikTok predominantly, yeah. Yeah. And they're on TikTok and they're on Snapchat.
Yeah, so a TikTok presence becomes vital to connect, right? I mean, if you want to make this happen. And you had shared with me, Flo, just a short, it's Friday video that you did. Yeah. And there was nothing that was promoting an event. It was just purely for fun, just connecting with people. And I think that's the thing that for me is a bit mind-blowing, is creating these very short video clips, putting them on TikTok, putting them on Snapchat, and connecting with the teenagers so that they know who you are. And it seems like once they know who you are, you at least have a dialogue with them.
Right. And they will follow you. I mean, they might not actively go on Facebook, but if they know that, there's fun things going on, they will go check it out. They might not be 100% active on there, but what I do is I create my TikTok videos and then my daughter will share them for me on Snapchat. That's why it's still good to have you can still have a Snapchat account, where you can, right from TikTok, you can it gives you the option to share your video on either Instagram, Snapchat, or on Facebook. So you can be able to share those videos on other platforms. So here's a good thing I can tell you about TikTok. Why TikTok is very easy to use. And here's why it's really easy to use. TikTok is all about trends. TikTok is all about the hottest new sound. Most people on TikTok are literally lip syncing, right? There'll be a sound that will say something silly, and people will just reenact something going on in their life with that sound. That's predominantly what TikTok is people literally using this trending sound to reenact something or doing dance moves. Imagine if, librarians are in the library dancing while putting away books. And that's just a 7-second clip, but it's a clip to a hot song, that the teenagers like. Right there, they're going to be like, oh my God, did you see that video that they did at the library? That 7-second clip that's it. That's enough to get that teenage crowd now interested to seeing, what you're doing and what you're going to do. So that's why for me, TikTok. So I started TikTok in January, and now I have over 3,000 followers. And that's what I've been doing, is you just pretty much go into the search box and you look up what's the hottest sound or song that's going on. I even did a dance video myself. My daughter said, Mom, learn how to do this dance. So she showed me what the dance is. She helped me practice. I learned the dance, and you can do a side-by-side video. They call it a duet. So whoever actually created the dance, you can do a side-by-side video where you're dancing next to them. And yeah, people are like, oh my gosh, you're a lawyer and you dance? Yes, because you know why? Lawyers are not boring. And that's why my brand is the non-boring lawyer, because I'm not afraid to step outside the box and show that fun side that, I'm just here having fun. I'm a regular human being, and it's been working. It's been really great. And I can tell you how it's been working. Last week and this week, I have not been on LinkedIn. I have a project that I have been working on, but I've grown such a large following on LinkedIn that people are sending me messages as we speak saying, where are you? You haven't posted. Are you okay? Is everything okay? So that's where you need to get to the point where people look forward to the content that you're going to release. That if you go 2-3 days without posting, they're going to miss it. Are there any other questions, Linda?
So folks, this for me, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, this was the hardest thing to hear from Flo, was that you have to actually make videos, and that the sort of, I'm not a shy person necessarily, but the thought of making videos is a little intimidating. And so what we did here at the library was we sent an email out to all staff saying, who would like to participate in videos? And big surprise, nobody volunteered. So if any of you are laughing right now, that is the response we got, because nobody wants to volunteer to be the person who's up front, except for possibly Eric, the director of Derry Public Library, who seems to have absolutely no problem with being on the camera at all. He's so good at it, and he can sing. So that makes him like doubly good to be on a video. But the thing is, it's that baby step. So directors, you're kind of the face, like people know who the director is. So do a short lip sync to a song, and like Flo says, 7 seconds. You have to have someone in your library who can use a phone, because all of these videos are done with phones. So there's no special equipment needed. I bet everyone on this page right now has got a camera on their phone, and that's what the kids are using when they do these videos. So it's a case of,
and you can record separately.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, you can record separately from your phone. I did a video that I recorded on my computer, and then I uploaded it into TikTok. So you could either record within the platform, or you can do edits and then upload it into the platform. But just know this, okay? I was on Facebook the other day, and I came across a video from the Hudson Police Department where they did a dance video. There was a police challenge that happened, I want to say maybe 2 years ago. 2019,
I think it was. They did that Uptown Funk, right? It was nationwide.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome. I watched so many versions of police departments and fire departments doing Uptown Funk. It's just not even true. So yes, some of them are amazing.
Yeah. And you don't have to be dancing. It could also be an informational video, or it could be a video where you do a presentation of the collections that you have available, but dress it up into something fun. You know, maybe it's a Valentine's Day collection, like I said before. Maybe it's a Halloween collection or Christmas collection. You can theme, people like themes. Keep up with what's going on monthly, and you can literally have a monthly theme. You can say, hey, in honor of Valentine's Day, February, every Friday is going to be all about love. Or, the other thing is, February is Black History Month. There could be a theme on a collection of books that cater to that. There's so many things that I see all the time being posted, like, oh, today's International Pancake Day, or today is Dog Lovers Day, and people love that, excuse me, and they eat that up. So that's why I'm saying is the content is readily available. You can literally Google anything and just say, oh, what is today? Some type of I've seen National Chocolate Day. Maybe you have National Chocolate Day and the theme for the library is all about chocolate. And maybe perhaps I know Linda, the Rogers Library is great for giving away chocolate. And I love it.
Yes,
I love it. I come here just for the chocolate.
We give away hot chocolate on a daily basis. We have a hot water dispenser, and it's just packaged hot chocolate. We originally started it as an outreach to the teenagers to try and get them to swing by the library as they walk by on their way home. Yes, there's a cost involved, and it has been incredibly successful, and it's connecting. So our teen programs are doing quite well. The funny thing is that we don't need everybody. We don't need everybody to participate. We just need a cross-section of the community to participate actively, so that when we run a program, our programs are successful to the number of people we want to see showing up in our programs. And for us, if we could get right now, if I could get 20 people into a program, that's the maximum I'm allowing in my community room right now. So that's not a lot of people when you have 1,000 kids at a high school. That's really not a lot of people. So what we're looking for is not that everybody's on it, but that we're just trending, and that those kids who are walking by the library are the ones who are going to come in and then mention it to their friends that they had fun. The people for me who are a challenge are the older folks, and in a way, I feel like COVID has done us a favor here, because people who were steadfastly non-computer at all, just didn't want to, they've been forced into it to try and keep up some connection with their family. So most everybody knows how a Zoom meeting meets. Even if they don't like computers, they can use Zoom because they want that face-to-face communication. And it's just a case of connecting with them where they hang out. And so if that's YouTube, again, YouTube is videos. Do you use YouTube, Flo?
So one of the series that I host is actually on YouTube. It's hosted on YouTube. So YouTube is great to do series. Like if you want to do a how to do research of the library series, you can upload videos. You can create a library YouTube video. Any how-to guidelines are great on YouTube. Even also, how to start researching like the best college to go to, and if there are a book of collections that you have available that gear towards that, you can do that as well. And what I mentioned before earlier about the Great Resignation, that's really a hot trending topic right now. So if you have how to look for a job in the digital era, and if you have a library or book collection that deals with that, then you can definitely create a YouTube webinar on that. So YouTube is excellent for webinars and how-to videos. When I'm always looking for how to do something, I go to YouTube, because there's so many tutorials that are really quick and easy. And again, you also want to be careful with the videos, especially on YouTube, because even as adults, we tend to have a short attention span. Now look at the teenagers and the elementary groups. That's even worse. So you want to make sure that these are not 2-3 hour how to, do something, but really quick, anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes videos are absolutely great. Maybe someone is trying to research on, how to be a librarian. You could do a whole entire short video on, how to be a librarian, what are the fun perks things. You can also go to social media just to show what you librarians do, what the library does on a daily basis and how they get books in. Hey guys, did you know how we even choose our catalogs? Want to learn how we do it? Well, here's how we do it. Just those fun informational stuff, because there are things that I learned when I walk in that I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know that happens. This all happens in the library?
Yes, well, you do walk all the way in. So not everybody can
Yeah.
walk all the way in like you do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm trying to look, but start posting. That's the other thing, is start posting. We are online. We want to chat with you. Follow us. Right. Yep. Start making that marketing on the doors and anywhere where people are actually coming in. Stop posting that. Yep. Because people need to know.
Flo, how quick do you think, how important is it to turn around and respond to people who like you or who make a comment? Is there a certain amount of time whereby you're trying to respond to people, or does that not really matter so much?
No, actually, I've heard that it actually matters, right? You want to, normally when I post, I'm posting during a time when I know I'm able to respond quickly. I try to carve out some time, maybe an hour of my time in the morning as I'm just checking emails and getting just kind of catching up with how to start my day, is I will do a post normally from LinkedIn. And that's the other thing, that's good about some of these social medias, is they will give you a breakdown of the best time to post. Like LinkedIn is great. I post Monday through Friday. I try to avoid on the weekend. For me, I haven't had too much of a great success on the weekend. Some people, they're just huge influencers. They could post Monday through Sunday and people still run and are like, oh my God, they posted today. But I would say within the hour. Okay. You post and you want to respond.
So then it's important to have someone on staff who is kind of
part of my, yeah. I'm going to chat about that shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so what I have right now is a sample post. And here's a good thing about some of the posts, is that you could literally write one post that if you do want to branch out into all the platforms, you can do one post and you can use them. You can use it on all the platforms. Like if I post something on LinkedIn, I would do an abbreviated, like LinkedIn allows you to write quite a lengthy paragraph. But again, you don't want to just dump just useless information. I put a lot of emojis when I post my content, right? Because I want it to be fun and I want to attract people. I don't want to write like a novel post and people like, oh my God, I got to read through that. I use Canva a lot. I'm a huge Canva fan. And the reason why I use Canva is if I know there's a topic I want to talk about. Like, for example, if I want to talk about, and I do this quite often, if I want to talk about the importance of taking a break, I will go on Canva and I will create like a little poster or a little short video. Canva is free. It doesn't cost any money. You don't have to, they do have a premium version, but you can use a free version. I have the premium account just because of how detailed my posts are, and I'm like literally all over the place. But I will create a little post, and feel free to go to the Non-Boring Lawyer on LinkedIn. You will see a lot of my posts. But I will create a little post in the flyer. Sometimes I'll add music or maybe I'll do like an inspirational quote that says, taking a break is so important for your health and your well-being. And then my post will be all about, There was a time, the reason why I left my corporate job was because I want to focus on my mental health, and I needed more flexibility, and I needed more work-life balance. I just spoke about something that a lot of people can resonate with. And then what happens? People will be like, oh my God, that happened to me too. I'm under a lot of pressure at work. I'm under a lot of stress. And, so you want those things that are going to get people engaged and wanted to respond back. And that's why I said that your post should be about meaningful things that are going on that people can resonate with. One sample post that I just created that's easy to do is, I see a lot of people on LinkedIn posting, here are some books that I recommend for, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, or for women empowerment, or for, just being the next CEO of a company. I see many people who make book recommendations. So why not use something like that I just ask the question. People like questions. Questions are good because when you ask the question, you're asking people to respond.
Right.
What's your favorite place to read? Upload your photos right now so we can see your photos. Take a photo of where you're reading. I did one with my dog. I said, here's my dog Slade. He's been such a great dog to our household and so helpful to my kids and my husband during the pandemic. And the question to me, I said, hey, I want to see your dog. Did you get a dog during the pandemic? Within like less than 2 hours, I had people posting pictures of their dogs. This is my dog that I got during the pandemic. Here's my dog. I didn't get him during the pandemic, but here he is. So
people do love their dogs.
Yes, so that's one great way.
I just want to say we're getting towards the end of our hour. Does anybody have any things that they've done that have worked for them that they're really proud of, social media things that they've done, and that they'd like to share it with us? Or any?
I think this is a video.
Oh,
here, Linda, I'm going to play the video.
This is the one. Yes.
So that is like a quick thing of what TikTok video is all about. So that video was me with my 13-year-old, and it was like, I got nothing in my brain. And what that was just a spoof on, it's Friday, you're tired, you're done, the week is almost over, and I've got nothing in my brain because I'm exhausted. So that's an example of a quick 7-second TikTok video. That
was very funny, and I thoroughly enjoyed that one. I see that Kathleen's sharing that when I asked that question about what has worked, highlighting new staff has brought high Facebook engagement. And I know a lot of libraries are hiring right now. We certainly have been, and it's difficult to find really good people because the job market is very, very tough, and especially for libraries who are notoriously not the best paid positions. What we're hoping to offer is something that's more than just a regular job. We're looking for people who want to participate in community. And so it looks like Kathleen's had some luck highlighting.
And I think what we're seeing right now is recruiters having to do things differently. I mean, recruiters are actually going to TikTok to find people. TikTok is now being used as a platform from recruiting people, even from law firms to big tech companies that they are recruiting people on TikTok. But this is how you can get people who wants to have fun in the library and be on social media and promote our collections of books and our webinars and toddler activities and high school activities. But I know we're running short on time. Linda, how much time do we have left? I think I've lost Linda. But just real quick is
myself. We have about we have about 1 minute.
Oh, okay, we're right at the hour.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is just a quick. We will send out and I'm available. Again, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on TikTok, and I'm on Twitter. I'm actually just, going to be networking with the New Hampshire Tech Alliance. I want to help promote New Hampshire as the next tech hub. So I've been really starting my posts on New Hampshire and technology on Twitter. But again, you just start out month one. I would just say start by doing 2 posts, and then just start growing from there. And you want to assign, and I skipped that slide, but you want to assign someone who actually wants to be on social media and promote the library. Assign your social media manager. Get somebody to volunteer for that. That's my recommendation.
Okay, so if, just a piece of housekeeping here, if you registered at our website for this event, you will receive a copy of the slides and also a copy of the recording. If any of you managed to come in, because I think the first time I listed it on the nays list, I didn't actually put a registration form. I just put a link to this meeting. So if you use that original link and you came in and you didn't actually register, I need you to send me an email at director@rogerslibrary.org, and I will share that. Just so that I know that you were here today, because as I was looking through, I don't see that everybody who participated was actually registered. So there's no problem. I've recognized a lot of your names, and I want to thank you all for coming. Flo, do you have any last words?
My last words is if anybody actually wants to have a webinar on how to actually start recording a TikTok video, I just want to let you know, I'm going to use Linda as the guinea pig. Linda and I are going to record a TikTok video.
Yes.
And she will share it with anybody who would like to see a copy to see what type of content.
I'll put it on the nays list, folks, and then you'll be able to see it. So yes. I'll be the guinea pig, and then you'll be able to contact me and find out what it was like being a real life influencer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And again, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on the Non-Boring Lawyer on Twitter, TikTok, and on LinkedIn.
Thanks, Flo. Thanks everybody for attending.
No problem.
Today. I really appreciate it.